3, 2, 1. Episode 14?
Bro.
Yeah, it's 14. 14 or 13. Just
Wait, listen to these
just
mics.
12, 11, 10 aren't on yet. Incredible.
It really is, though.
So, how was dinner?
So good, bro.
Dude, Dad, so funny.
He's such a dipshit.
We made like a taco bar. Every Sunday we do some kind of family dinner. We did a taco bar today. And I made the taco meat, which is literally just ground beef and a packet of taco seasoning. And I guess you're supposed to, like when you make taco meat, you're supposed to add a cup of water to it, which I didn't know that. And I cook every day, so it's just like whatever. And my dad was like, he was like actually mad that I didn't add a cup of water. He's like, I just wanted it how it was whenever I was in high school and my parents would make it. He was like actually mad.
No,
and then my mom,
about
like he gets mad and I was just like laughing because this is funny to see him have like a little whatever tantrum.
Yeah.
And then my mom like retaliates. I'm like, Mom, please don't reply to him. Like just let him be upset in his own little world.
He's so
It's almost like I don't want to refer to my dad as like this, but it's almost like a puppy.
Dude, like we're cleaning the garage all day today, and like every chance he gets,
I'm always like, fuck, what's he gonna say when
know.
Colby comes around?
I know.
Like I know he's gonna say something.
every chance he gets, he just shits on me no matter what. And like I deserve some of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, it's like, bro,
Yeah.
come on, like,
Yeah.
relax.
It's both of you.
Yeah, he's a dipshit, but so am I. So
Mhm.
it works. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we got the topics today, man. It was a good week. Top G is free.
Top G is free, dude.
Top G is free. I've been
That's
watching
crazy.
these YouTube videos and getting inspired.
Okay.
So they could just hold you in prison, like no rhyme or reason. They're like, you're guilty until we prove you're innocent,
And they just don't even prove it. Until,
and they don't
like,
prove it, and they
months
just
later.
like continuously deny us bail, and
it's
eventually
weird.
they were just like couldn't. I guess they just couldn't like make it any more blatantly obvious. They're just like, okay, I guess we'll just admit that we screwed up and let them go. It's kind of
Yeah, I
wild.
don't-
That's scary because he always talked about how Romania is like you don't want to mess with Romania. Like you don't mess around in Romania. You know, like they're very serious. You know,
That makes me wonder. Like whenever I think of how much I want to travel the world, I'm like, do I?
yeah,
like-
you say some
Do I want to go everywhere? Or
out of pocket things
oh, for sure.
about a lot of world leaders.
Dude, I would definitely go to a country and get arrested because I like the kid that fucking got killed in North Korea, and he there was a Kim Jong-un poster like in the hallway, and he took it down and like was gonna take it home for a souvenir, and then they fucking killed him. Like that'd be.
I don't think they killed him. I think that he was in
they
prison
killed
for
him.
a long time, and then
But
he
they
came
beat
out.
the fuck out of him,
Yeah,
and
bad.
he came out like a vegetable.
He literally came out like
and
a
then he
vegetable,
died,
which
like,
is way worse.
like a week later.
Yeah. That's pretty much them showing like we will do anything we want. We do not, because if they would
No,
have
they
killed
don't
him,
give a fuck.
they would have killed him. They could have made up some kind of story, some kind of propaganda story, like I was plane crashed or whatever, or his Uber driver OD'd or something. But the fact that they took him in, made him a vegetable, and then released him is like, oh god,
Dude, fucked.
it's like a sign of power almost.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, not almost. For sure.
Well, yeah, yeah,
They killed that motherfucker.
yeah,
Literally just because they wanted to.
yeah, yeah. Pretty interesting.
Damn, so that's wild that I guess he's just out in public doing whatever he wants now. Can he leave Romania?
No, he's house arrest. So he's free, but he's house arrest. I don't get how he was always tweeting when he was in
The
prison.
video of him smoking the cigar where he's just walking, he's like,
I know.
he doesn't look at the camera.
Dude, that made so many 14-year-olds hyped
No,
up.
seriously.
Like,
He
it
looked
made me
big,
hyped.
too.
It made me
He
hyped
looked
up. I was
big,
like,
bro.
let's go.
He was big.
Yeah.
Like, he gained a lot of fucking...
I'm sure he just freaking
meat.
lifted all day.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if it was actually what he says it was. Like, he always says, like, all of his tweets now are like, you know, I had a lot of conversations with myself, like, because I was in a dark cell all day, like, no communication with the outside world or anything. I wonder if like actually if he was just like in like a little suite, you know?
Dude, I wonder.
I know, right? Because
I
that's a
mean,
good story.
I bet he wasn't. I mean,
he's in
definitely
like
wasn't.
he's
in fucking Romania.
He's like a Jake Paul. He's like a master at the marketing and like, you know, making things big. So it's such a better story whenever he's locked in like a cellar underground, and that's what you're thinking of him, you know.
Yeah,
but he
I
looks
wonder.
like he was messed up whenever the videos of like
dude, yeah.
he always looked like he was like wanted to die, you know, not actually.
Oh, for sure. Where he was like bald as fuck, and he had like his
Scruffy
beard
beard.
was so nasty. Yeah. Yeah, that was wild. Dude, what a fucking...
Okay, so we got... Where do you want to go with this next one? UFC 284. We recap. Izzy gets his sweet revenge on his longtime enemy. Masvidal retires. Rosas got humbled. That was fun.
Dude, he got fucked.
Yeah. That's a scary moment whenever you're dead tired and you got 10 minutes left to fight.
Dude, it was quick in the second quarter, too. Second period. Dude, so quick.
What, that he got tired?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
The
sprinting.
second they hit the ground, bro, he's nope.
Yeah.
Can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. I mean, he was sprinting in that in the first whatever it's called period.
What's the guy's name that he fought?
I forget.
Rodriguez,
yeah.
And he, dude, the way he handled it was cool. Because like at the beginning, you're like, dude, Rodriguez is getting fucked because he's just chilling there. He didn't even do anything. And then second period, he's
just calm, just stayed calm,
just
and
chilling.
then
Watching him
shots.
just go. He had Rojas. He had his hand around his neck.
Rosas had his neck. Yeah.
Yeah, Rodriguez had Rosas' neck. And then he was just had behind him, and he just body, and then Rosas goes down body, and then hit him in the head, and then Rosas covers head, and then body, but like
it was nice.
For a minute at least straight.
I mean, there's really nothing. I mean, it's honestly, it's like a simple maneuver too. When you have someone in that much of a dominant position, you pretty much just keep going the body, and then
it was like he was choosing not to choke him out too, because he literally had just had him. He just
well, Rosas is really
just
good
like
at grappling too.
there.
Yeah. Makes you think, like what probably went wrong. Probably, I was hearing a couple people say that he probably just doesn't have good enough training partners in his gym. That he can, when he's doing his sparring sessions, he can sprint for 5 minutes, and in that 5 minutes, he's almost guaranteed to take them out. Like he's almost guaranteed to get a submission. But then you do that in UFC, against someone like that that's like seasoned. They can weather you, and then they can put it on you when you're tired. So who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, pace, like knowing how to pace yourself in a fight, and to use all of your energy in 15 minutes efficiently is like it's a whole separate skill in itself to like the skill of fighting. Like you can know how to fight, and then knowing how to actually win a fight in 15 minutes is a completely different thing.
I heard, yeah, for sure. And then like Masvidal, I heard this guy on YouTube say some shit. He said, Masvidal is like the best fighter ever that had like no skill. Because he beat like an overhyped Darren Till. He beat like he called him like the dinosaur, the fucking Nate Diaz.
He got a doctor stoppage on Nate Diaz. Oh,
yo, he came right at my face.
He knows you like bugs.
No, dead ass. I fucking
he slipped that. Connor won too.
And then obviously
doctor
Ben
stoppage
Askren.
on Nate Diaz. Yeah.
So
Ben Askren was obviously his best fight ever, because Ben Askren's probably his best opponent.
Watching him against Burns, that was sad. He looked bad.
Yeah, he looked slow. He definitely looked slow. He looked almost out of shape.
He did. He looked
chubby. Interesting.
He didn't. He always looked not good, like physically, but
no.
Damn, he looked bad.
Yeah.
Good for him though. Fucking like take your money and get the fuck out of here, dude.
He's
like
Jake
40, dude.
Yeah, good
he's
for
like
him.
37, isn't he? He's like 38 or 39
old,
years old.
yeah,
he's really fucking old.
Yeah.
He's had like 50 fights.
Oh, more than that, dude. He was street fighting when he was 15.
No, he definitely had.
Those
like,
are way
hundreds.
worse too. He's just getting knocked out on the concrete, getting up the next day and going sparring probably.
That fucking video of him doing the backyard brawls, that shit is so crazy. The bare knuckle brawls.
I actually never really watched them.
Dude, it's so good.
You can pull them up.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
I never really watched them, but I just seen highlights.
Yeah, it's genuinely.
You gonna connect?
It's fucked, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I mean, Burns is good. I like him. He's a pretty underrated fighter. He's very active too. Israel, I mean, how can you? We have to talk about that.
Dude, that was so fucking crazy.
Dude,
Jesus,
like, the amount of just like bravery that takes too, to just being like, all right, we're teeing off right now,
dude.
Against the cage, because in the last fight that they had in MMA, Israel would go up against the cage like that, and he would kind of dance around, try to find his way out, and that's why he got stopped, because he was trying to dance his way out, and he got rocked, and then he didn't have that movement anymore. But in this last fight, he's like, we're here. He's like, I'm going or you're going, because Pereira was teeing off, and then Izzy loaded up with that overhand, and then he loaded up with again. And the interesting part too is that in their first fight, Izzy hit him with a straight right, but then he followed up with a hook. Instead of going this time, he doubled up on the straight right. So he went straight right. back to the straight right.
Damn.
Instead of going straight right hook. You know, he was saying he had to change that up.
That's wild. Dude, this is so funny. Masvidal right there, baby. He's so young. Jesus Christ. This has to be at least... Dude, this has to be from like...
Oh, it's picking up. Oh my God.
Dude, Ray, the guy he's fighting, is fucking huge.
That's sweet. It's picking up.
It's just echoing through ours. We're echoing through that.
No, I turned that mic on.
Yeah, but we're echoing
Yeah.
now because the gain's so high.
Yeah, no.
Dude, that dude is huge, bro. It's a long fight. I wish should have just done the highlights.
Yeah. See if you find like a highlight. Yeah, that's crazy though. I mean, starting off with street fighting and then not really. I mean, he probably wasn't like learning boxing right now. You know, he's probably just fighting and like taking tips from Kimbo Slice. But he probably wasn't in like a real gym. To go from that and then learning how he had to learn how to grapple and then he had to break all his bad habits to eventually selling out freaking Madison Square Garden is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, enough of that.
yeah, I'm not gonna find the highlights. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, the
to
essence
give
of
you
that
a-
is they're bare knuckle fighting in a backyard, basically. And
Probably.
this is Masvidal like 15 years ago, probably, or 10 years ago.
And he probably did like 50 of these
Yeah.
before he did 50 actual MMA fights. Pretty cool.
So I gotta.
Yeah, freaking all-time celebration too for Israel.
Yeah, it's
Doing the
fucking
bow and
let's go.
arrow.
Thank you, Jesus.
Bow and arrow, and then going up to the kid. You know the story behind that?
Oh, yeah.
He went up to Prayer's kid, and how did
pointed-
he find
he
him?
pointed to
How did he
him.
find him, dude?
I know,
There's
right?
30,000 people in there, 15,000, whatever. He pointed to him, and he just
He
collapsed.
knew. He probably knew.
Yeah, he probably planned
That was
that out.
funny though.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
See what Pereira said? He's like, I mean, I wouldn't do it, but
I like Prayer.
I know it's cool. Whenever he talks about Izzy, he's always talking about like he's a fucking beast, like a warrior, which is so true.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
So the Dalai Lama sucking tongue.
dude, that was weird.
Really?
Yeah, what
You see
was
that?
up with that?
I don't know. I didn't want to talk about it, but I guess we should.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
I mean,
know. I don't get what
he got in trouble like a couple years ago because he said something like women should only have like all women should be married to a man or some shit. He
no,
just said something
he
weird.
said he didn't want to get married because he knows that women will take his money. Like he said, what's the point of getting married if she's just gonna take my money? You know?
He said some weird shit like that a couple years ago, and he like got canceled for like a day. But I think he's just so fucking old that and he's so like he's meditating all day. He doesn't give a fuck about like if he's touching some person. Like he's probably not thinking like sexually. He's literally just like
Sucking tongue?
like even like to a kid like licking his tongue. I bet to him he's genuinely like that's not weird. You know what I mean?
No.
Like if Cammy licks your fucking face, you know.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it. I don't know. Like there's just such a history of them. When you practice like celibacy, you're gonna get turned on, dude. Like you're gonna.
Yeah, I don't know if
There's such a
that-
history of all religious leaders and and not all, but religious leaders and especially obviously Catholicism's a big one.
Yeah, but there's not really a history of them doing it. Like,
Well, there is with Gandhi.
in public.
With Gandhi, I didn't even know
Really?
this. No, when I was going down the rabbit hole for this, which was 5 minutes, I guess Gandhi like would sleep with I think they said naked 13-year-olds, and it would be to test his will. And he never got accused of doing anything, but he would do this because just to test his will. And they're saying, okay, well, if that's the way of testing your will, obviously there's an attraction then to 13-year-olds, right? And then, but the counter to that argument, like the religious people's counter to that, is they say like, well, Gandhi was 13 when he got married to an 11-year-old and had a kid. So that's like a 40-year-old looking back at like a 20-year-old and like being turned on, you know, because 30-year-old's like an elder back then. So yeah, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking Gandhi though. Damn.
Huh? Yeah, I know.
That.
I don't
Dude,
even like. Yeah,
dude, mom is fucked.
Dude, that's why I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole, because that's like mom's.
We gotta get her in here, bro.
That's like mom's freaking.
Dude,
Lord.
everyone that's like, yeah.
Everyone that's into meditation and spirituality, like they're all really look up to him. You know,
bro. Like John of God literally raped people.
Like, why do they do that? It's just you
know.
Can't be a human and practice like celibacy. You just can't. It just doesn't work.
When I went to John of God, bro, it was crazy because we like we saw him like right when we got there. He was just like chilling like out like with people, like in the public, and I was like, the fuck. And then we went to like this orientation thing where this dude was like telling us all the crazy shit that John of God has done in his life to basically like
give him a preface what John of God is.
He's like a dude where he supposedly like has like hundreds of like entities, like spirits come into his body, and his body is like a medium, and he like can like heal people supposedly. There's videos online, if you look up John of God online healing surgeries, there's videos of him literally cutting into people's skin and eyes with a scalpel while they're awake, standing like this. And he's just cutting into their skin, and like they don't feel anything. It's very odd. It's such a weird thing. But and supposedly he's helped like hundreds of thousands of people, and he like Oprah went to see him, like, you know, famous people went to see him. But he got caught like 4 or 5 years ago, and he supposedly was like not molesting. Sorry, I'm getting confused with other religious people, but he was like raping women and stuff like that. So, but I went to see him with my family, and we went to. No, she actually wasn't. She didn't even care.
Well, she wasn't devastated. She was like, I guess I shouldn't have said that. She was like,
no, it's funny. Like when me and mom talked about it,
she didn't want to tell you and dad at all.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, just because she didn't want you guys to like think like, oh, of course, you know, because you guys had very real experiences there, right?
I mean, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
it was the coolest part about it is the fact that there were just people all in one place, like trying to just be better people. That was the coolest part. Like, if you're ever in a big group of people and you're all like have the same goal, it is really powerful. That's why culture is such a thing that people enjoy. Like once you're in it, you don't care. You're just happy that you're all thinking the same shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's why we all have such a hard time like agreeing with people that disagree with us. You know, it's like so ingrained in our DNA to try to find people who are exactly like you.
Yeah, tribalism, group thinking.
But we went to see John of God, right? And we went to this orientation, and the guy was like, John of God used to write two books at the same time from entities, and he would be writing like different things with one hand and another one. Well, nowadays, like there's kids on fucking TikTok doing that shit, and it's because they're just good at writing with like, I saw a girl doing four things at once, two feet and two hands. And like if you could do that back in the day, people would see that shit and they'd be like, oh my God, she has to have some kind of like fucking superpower or some shit. But
dude, it took me forever to get my phone casted to this for some reason.
The best way to do it is go on YouTube on your phone, and then when you get to a YouTube video, you just click that cast button. Like there's a little button right here.
Yeah, it wouldn't pop up for some reason.
And then when you get that, then you go to like the Roku remote.
I have this John of God video doing surgery, but it won't play. I want to play.
I want to change the name of this TV so I can fucking find it whenever I...
It's just 40-inch, right?
Mm-hmm. But it's called Living Room. I don't know why.
Come on.
Damn, it's your Roku. You gotta fucking change the name. I can't.
Yeah.
Meet Litter Robot, the
I just want to show this video because this is wild. Because I remember that when you guys went to John of God, I was showing my friends this, and they were like, "What?" Like they were like, thought he was, you know, God.
Yeah, no, this shit is crazy though. Like he literally cuts into people's fucking skin and shit.
If it doesn't work here, we'll just bag it. I guess probably is confused because you connected and then I connected.
Uh-oh, Mom and Jimmy are here.
Yeah, tell them not to turn that TV on.
Look, this is John God right here. Oh my God, this is wild that I was here.
So what's going on?
So he heals people. He's like basically, supposedly, right now, he is completely not John of God. He is like an entity. And some entities will go through him and he'll have different personalities. Like
Oh God.
he sometimes has a surgeon that was like a doctor come through him and he cuts people open. And look what he's about to do. He's about to cut this woman's eye.
So she's probably just came to him with some kind of issue.
With her eye, yeah.
Yeah.
She probably has some kind of thing that needs to be
Dude,
done.
this looks like the most culty thing
Oh
I've
my
ever
God,
seen.
dude.
No anesthetics.
No anesthetics, nothing. This is just straight up.
No numbing cream.
He's literally scraping her eye with a knife. He's scraping her eyeball.
Yo. There's no sound on this.
His finger is in her fucking eye. Dude, he got them gold watches, though. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
This guy made so much fucking money. It was
Wait,
crazy.
Tap your mic real quick. Okay, you're good. Just making sure you're not four.
Dude, this guy made so much
no.
money. This guy made so much money. It's crazy.
Dude,
whenever you go to get...
What's that watch?
Dude, whenever you go to get your supplements that they give you, which is literally... They tell you to get supplements, and it's like water in a pill, and then they like have energy work over the pills, and they tell you to take it. And they were like $50 for one thing. So he was selling probably like 10,000 of those a fucking day.
Oh my God.
He was definitely selling at least 1,000 a day.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
So what's he doing? Anything like cataract? Like what kind of surgery do you think is he doing?
I think he like sometimes in this kind of shit they'd be like, dude, her
No.
eye is gonna be fucked up. Her eye is gonna be so
Dude.
fucked up.
We gotta find a link to like her testimony. Like, did she ever leave Brazil?
Dude, I don't know.
Is that in Brazil?
Mm-hmm.
No way. Like, it's so weird. You all have to wear white too.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I mean, like, what'd you think about it?
It was interesting. It's
Did
definitely
did
a
it
very
feel
interesting.
culty? Or people that are very
No, it's not a cult because they don't force you to be there and they don't try to make you stay or anything like that. It's not. You literally just go. Like, people go to visit him all throughout Brazil. It's not like a place where you stay. You can't like live there. It's just like like
Yeah.
a church. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I guess I meant to say, did it feel like you were surrounded by people that would be subjugated to
dude.
fall into a cult?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the weirdest part was that you all are wearing the same. You're all wearing white. So like when you go in, you can see that everyone's wearing the same shit. So it's like
Yeah.
it makes you think.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure. It's wild.
it was cool though.
I love that we could pull that stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else we got going on in this world? So, I thought this was interesting. Riley Gaines.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't have to tell the whole story because everyone knows that there was a transgender female that became a female and swam in the women's division. Does that be a transgender male then?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a transgender male that swam in the females division last year.
Wait, no, it's a transgender female that was a male.
It's a transgender something. There was a transgender female that competed at NCAAs. Obviously, everyone knows. And who was it? Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
Leah Thomas. She won NCAAs as a female. Used to be a man, and in the men's division, her whole life she was like 400th. And all of a sudden, she's winning against like Olympians and like Olympic hopeful people and like #1 people in the world. And one of them was a girl named Riley Gaines. But none of the girls wanted to speak out. Obviously, no one wants to speak out about that and say this isn't fair because you'll be ostracized. Like, you can't be transphobic. And so Riley Gaines was this female swimmer that lost to Leah Thomas. And she came out and she's like aligning herself right now with Republican leaders. And she's coming out and saying how this is like extremely unfair and this goes like completely against women's rights because, you know, you have a male competing against them and obviously like men are better at sports. And
Yeah.
so she's been doing like this campaign basically to like create some kind of law where transgenders can't compete in the women's division, which sounds fair. And I guess she was doing like a speech at some college and a flash transgender activist group came into the college and they held her captive in a room and demanded ransom, and they were like screaming things at her, and I was like, and I saw that video, and I was like, I wonder what that person did, and then I find out it's Riley Gaines. I'm like, oh my god, dude, this is wild, because it's like, I don't know. I mean,
the bug.
I know, he's loving life right in that life.
That's crazy.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, it's too hard to really. I mean, obviously, I think it is ridiculous if you think that men and women are the same biologically, and that men don't have some kind of crazy advantage when it comes to like physical sports and like, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, whenever a biological man who has all those benefits becomes a female, that's fine, but it's not okay to use your biological advantage over them, which is just not. I don't know. Like, how do you really fix that? You just ban them from like where do they compete? They're in their biological. I guess it's kind of going to be like, look, if you really want to be transgender, then like you're going to have to, and you want to be an athlete, you have to do what your biological sex was.
Yeah. I mean, you have to, it has to.
Like, what do you think would happen? Let's say tomorrow they say that no more. If you're a biological man and you want to go compete in female,
I don't think there'd
sports,
be any pushback. Like zero. Like besides a very small group of people that are obviously very loud.
Well, they're gonna say, well, we want to do our hormone therapy, so like we'll suck as boys. But like, I mean,
no, they won't.
That's what I mean. Like they will though. Like if you try to take estrogen, like or whatever the hormone therapy is, you're not gonna be as good at wrestling as you are now.
Well, I would only take estrogen if I was trying to become a girl.
Exactly. These people are trying to become girls, and then they have to compete against boys still, right? If me and you wanted to become transgender and we want to go against boys,
right?
But we want to do some kind of hormone replacement therapy,
right?
Then you're going to be worse,
right?
But so they're saying, well, I want to be able to compete against women because I'll be the best. Well,
yeah, I mean, I guess, but you have to look at these things, from an objective standpoint, and what makes most sense objectively. And like you made a list. What makes the most sense objectively is that you have to compete in the gender that you were at birth, because it doesn't matter if I start taking estrogen right now. I still had. Okay, men and women are the same until they hit puberty. Okay, you remember gym class? Every girl is as good as all the boys at dodgeball up until it started hitting puberty. Some of them are even better because sometimes girls hit puberty younger than men. Guys hit puberty right now. I've had 7 years of testosterone running through my veins. Okay, so I hit puberty when I was 13. I'm 20 now. I still had 7 years of testosterone and the fast twitch muscle and all the stuff that comes with being a male, and the ability to build muscle, keep muscle, all that stuff. If I decided to become a girl right now, I still had 7 years of an advantage over my competition. Even if I start taking hormone therapy and my hormones are the same level as a female. Which way wouldn't, be either way.
Yeah. If
so
your
it's
hormones
basically
are the
like
same as
if
a
you,
female, but your muscles were growing for 7 years, you're gonna have to wait a long fucking time for your muscles to like
atrophy
also
that
go
much,
down.
right? Yeah. So you have to look at it from
and
an
they probably
objective
never will
standpoint.
go down to the same point.
I mean, I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people is, like in today is like we're losing a lot of objectivity, like in like social issues. It's like people were reacting based off of like what they're feeling, or which is scary. But no, it won't let me connect to this,
bro. Fuck the videos.
It's a crazy video though. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, thought that was crazy.
Yeah, I think it'd be okay to maybe try to see what happens if they make a law, and then I don't know. Maybe they can make a law where it's like they compete against females, but they are in their own division. Yeah. Like you compete against females, but if you want to be transgender, you have to be in your own division. It's called like.
But then like
the
what?
Neutral division or something. I don't know.
But then what? You can compete against 4 people?
Maybe
at nationals.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If it's like a whole community at some point.
Yeah,
then why not?
It's wild.
Yeah. At some point, there's probably gonna be a lot of people that are can define themselves as like, I'm not anything. You know,
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we also have to, like, for that to happen, we also have to, like, not go to war.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Dude, World War III scares me. You see Elon Musk's interview with that BBC
That was funny.
That was sweet.
Dude,
He just
shit on him.
completely called him out.
He's like, "Can you tell me like one example of anything being hateful on Twitter?" And he's like, "Well, I don't use Twitter." And he's like, "You just said you fucking use Twitter. Like you use the For You page." And
Yeah.
it's so dumb.
Yeah. I'm going to pull that up.
It's funny as hell.
I'm not sure I'd use that feed for that. It's meaningless unless you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
I think the issue some people have is that a lot of people were brought back. I mean, some people were brought back who were previously banned for spreading things like QAnon conspiracies. You have people like Andrew Tate who were brought back, who were previously banned for things like hate speech.
Pale.
Do you think you prioritize freedom
Motherfucker
of
works.
speech over misinformation and hate speech?
Well, you know, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
And you're literally asking me.
Yes.
Well, no, you
Who
are
is the
the
arbiter?
arbiter on Twitter because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying who is to say that one person's misinformation is another person's information? The point at which you said that there is this is misinformation. Like, who is
But
going
you
to
accept that
decide that?
misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause
Yes.
real-world harms, that it can potentially cause...
Yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that those occur?
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true.
Correct.
In its, whatever it is, 100-year history, I'm quite sure.
Yes. Even if you aspire to be accurate, there are times when you will not be.
We've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company. Is that
What
something
hate
that you
speech
want
are
to
you talking
address?
about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
personally, my For You, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally, but I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
You
But
see more
personally,
hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm
Well,
saying...
I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content. And I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples.
Right.
Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore, because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look
hang on a
at my
second.
followers.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen that For You hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
You can't give a single one.
And I'm saying,
I say so that you don't know what you're talking about.
really.
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
That's false.
no. What I claimed,
just lied.
What I claimed was there are many organisations that say that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether
Pretty wild.
That's so funny, dude.
Dude.
He just broke down his whole argument, and he was like, okay, well, what do you think is hateful? And he's like, something, sexist or racist. And he's like, okay, well, like, what is slightly sexist? Like, what does that even mean? And then he was just going to go the whole way down to the point where he's like, give me an example. And the guy's like, fuck. Like, honestly, though, I use Twitter all the fucking time. I never see hateful shit. The only thing I see that's like hateful is people shitting on other people. But like, dude, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna fucking cry? I'm sorry. Like,
Dude,
Twitter is Twitter.
I'm on the hateful side of Twitter too.
Dude, I
because
fucking shit on everybody. I
but
shit
I
on
follow
everybody.
all of the like Andrew Tates and stuff, and like even them, like they're not saying like their tweets sometimes are just funny, but like
That's what it's for.
Yeah,
You're
I don't
supposed
know.
to shit on people.
Yeah,
On Twitter.
yeah, and all groups of people too.
Oh yeah. Can't be fucking.
Dude, Elon's a master at like asking a question and then pausing, but him not pausing in an awkward way, but making the other person feel awkward, so they have to respond. But he
And
doesn't
start
look awkward
panicking.
at all. Yeah, he's a master making people panic for sure. So funny, dude. He must be a dog when he goes on first dates.
Dude, I mean, that fucking $1 billion fucking dick, dude.
Yeah,
He probably has a bionic dick right now
you think?
where that thing just fucking just goes. And he probably has some chip in his brain where he literally is like having an orgasm that's like 30,000 times what the actual
No.
human orgasm would be. Yeah.
That's a feature on Neuralink. You just have
No,
it on
dead
your
ass.
phone.
He's just gonna be like, oh fuck. He's gonna get a feature on fucking the Neuralink that literally would just make him bust on immediate time, and then he's gonna tell everybody, and he'll be like, I literally just needed to fuck. I needed more time in my day. I didn't have time to fuck. Okay, I had to fucking.
No, he's chemically castrated.
No, he's not.
He's too evolved.
He's coming in every
no.
goddamn fucking.
It's too
every
much.
semen jar in every hospital. There's some Elon coming there. You can literally go have an Elon baby right now. He's genuinely trying to spread his DNA like fucking crazy.
Dude, speaking of that, you know Genghis Khan is like prevalent among a high percentage of
he
people's
probably
DNA.
had 1,000 kids.
Because he would just impregnate everybody.
Yeah,
He'd
like
just
why not?
Run through
He's just,
villages
fuck
and
it, I'll
just rape
nut in
everybody.
everyone.
Dude, he's prevalent amongst like a lot of people, like in their
That's so
genetic
crazy,
history.
bro.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Like over 1%, which is like billions of people.
That's
Millions-
crazy.
Hundreds of millions of people. Yeah.
He definitely, like, Elon for sure is a guy that would like look up to Genghis Khan in some ways.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
he'd
someone like
be
Mike
like-
Tyson would look up to Genghis Khan in some ways, you know?
Yeah, and he definitely would like try to have as many kids as possible. So
Yeah.
you probably need to have like literally 20,000,
I don't know. What do you think his
kids,
way of
though,
doing it, though? You think he's
to
just
get to the Genghis Khan level?
You think he's just like slinging it all the time, or you think he's like just
I think that people are probably
distributing
interested in
his
him.
sperm?
No, I honestly think that some people are probably like, I want a baby and like I'm smart. Can we have a kid together? And I'm sure he's like, honestly, yeah, like I don't give a fuck.
That's kind of gangster.
I mean, I wonder. I mean, that's obviously
Would
just my
you be
random,
cool with
like,
just like a bunch
opinion,
of
but-
random youths running around like
Oh,
you
I'd
never
love
know them?
that. Yeah.
Like just giving out to sperm banks all the time.
I mean, he is fully aware that his brain is different than the human brain, and he's like, I need to have this continue. He talks about Nikola Tesla all the time, and he says, you know, the greatest thing, the worst thing Nikola Tesla ever did was not have any kids. He
Really?
always says that. Yeah, he said it like a lot of times.
Interesting.
I don't know how many he has now, but I feel like it's at least in like the 11s or.
Oh, I bet he's a dog.
You literally are a Tate clone.
Dude, but I just don't like. He's a big boy. Like
Dude, he's huge. He's
it's
tall,
kind of fun.
too.
Like how can you be that smart and not take care of your body?
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I know. I was thinking, oh, he only has 6 kids. No, he doesn't.
Dude. So trans beer?
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see Kid Rock's video?
Uh-huh.
That was so funny.
So yeah.
I mean, it was funny in the point where I was like, Kid Rock is a pussy.
It was funny, like it was just funny seeing someone be outraged over it. Like that was the only reason I thought it was funny.
Dude, he was mad.
I wonder if he
he
actually
said,
was. He's just
Fuck.
entertaining.
He has his fucking fingers like this, too. He's like, fuck Bud Light. And fuck Anheuser-Busch. Oh, he has his MP5. And then he's
Yeah.
like, fuck you. He was so mad. It's like, dude, why are you that mad?
People
Bud Light's,
mad.
dude, Bud Light tastes like literal fucking piss anyway. What the fuck are you drinking that?
So I just wonder, like, what's their goal with that? To reach out to new audience, or to like, because their typical audience is not obviously like that. It's NASCAR and like
they
hardcore people.
supposedly like they lost like 6% in the market,
Yeah.
in the stock market, and I was like, damn, bro, that's probably a good deal. Like I would buy that stock. If
And?
it was down 6%. I didn't buy it, but I bet it's gonna go up quickly
Oh,
because it's like a quick reaction to like a stupid ass thing that makes no fucking sense at all, and then you just buy it right back up.
people are like mad about it. You know, like even like I don't know. amongst college kids, like no one's drinking Bud Light.
Like, it's so dumb. You're such a loser. If you care that much, you're genuinely a fucking loser.
Yeah.
I mean, who fucking, like, why?
What do you mean?
Like, why do you even care if someone is transgender and going for, and like,
Yeah, I don't know.
why does that make you so mad?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like
bro,
the
like,
I guess
close your eyes, don't
it's
watch
the woke
it.
agenda. It's I guess like the people that are smart that are actually mad about this, not just like the college kids, is that they're nervous about the woke agenda. Like
I don't see how that's
infiltrating.
woke, though.
Yeah, I guess they're just nervous.
It's
to,
an
like,
ad of a transgender like having a fun time.
Yeah.
Like, is it woke now to just be trans? Is that a thing?
Well, to like the hardcore people. Yeah.
Yeah.
The woke agenda is like what scares them, like amongst like teachers indoctrinating kids into their own beliefs.
Like
and,
that's woke.
Yeah, and like
To have
movies,
a transgender just be in an ad is not
it's
woke.
not woke. But I think that's what they're scared it like
Yeah.
leads to.
Well, of course, yeah.
Like movies and just like kids being indoctrinated and.
Well,
all that
obviously,
stuff
it's weird if you have to
into
teach a
beliefs.
child, like, I don't know. Maybe it's not weird. I don't know, honestly.
Well, if you're a teacher, you should not be telling your beliefs on kids.
I
First
guess,
of all,
yeah.
kids are too dumb to even understand.
There's a smart way to explain it, though. There has to be
if it's
some
an
way.
objective thing.
Like, how would you explain it to a group of kids?
How would I explain what?
What transgender means?
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess what I'm saying is that like you have, teachers not necessarily the hardest job in the world. Therefore, you're not going to have the most qualified people in the world to teach your kids and educate their young minds. So I guess to go along with that, if they're probably a lot of teachers aren't the best people, they probably have some pretty shitty ideals too, and they're not afraid to like put them on your kid, and then, you know what I'm saying.
No, I get it. I just don't.
I don't know how
if
if I
that's
was a
actually like a
teacher.
thing that is happening.
I don't
often.
know. I think that in universities and especially I don't know. I think it could be.
It's possible.
I think it definitely
I don't
is
yeah.
in some places for sure.
I think the way to probably like discuss that is to find ways to like have a legit like smart discussion with children about it, because you have to tell them somehow. Like they can't just be like,
Yeah.
why does Joey dress like a girl?
Yeah.
Like that. You have to tell them.
I think that I forget what I was gonna say. I think that like people are pushing back. I think that they're not. I think that the whole like like comply with our beliefs. I think that like high school kids are starting to get mad, and I think they're starting to be like, no, like this is not what we're doing. Like we're not acting this certain way, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I think kids are starting to get sick of it for sure. And they're not afraid to, I think more people are less and less afraid to be like completely compliant with woke culture. I
feel
don't
like
mean woke
for
by
me,
being trans either. That's
Yeah.
not what I'm saying.
Yeah, for me, I think it's gonna all just slowly get more equaled, where it'll just make sense to everybody.
Yeah.
Like I think transgender people will find a way to not, like the people that want to demand that you say something to them, like you call them certain things. That's probably not gonna work ever. And they'll learn that, and then it won't be a big deal. Like they won't care, And you shouldn't be offended anyway. Like if someone doesn't know what your gender is, if gender's supposed to be that fluid, why are you even?
Yeah.
That's
true.
Why are you mad anyway? But
If you want gender,
and I think they'll learn that. And then same with people that are like on the other side, where they're like, there should be no trans people that are in ads, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like this is a fucking America, dude. Like we can do whatever the fuck we want.
yeah, like relax.
Yeah, like you can't just you're that mad at a beer company because there's a person that's like looks like a boy and they're dressed like a girl and they're in an ad.
Dude, I'll tell you what made me mad.
What?
I was at Starbucks the other day. This really emasculated me.
Okay.
I got a whole milk latte, okay? Because almonds don't produce milk, so I'm not getting almond milk like what you guys get. Real milk. And I asked for cinnamon on it. And I was like, yo, like you guys got cinnamon? There's just some dude behind. He's like, yeah. He goes and grabs it. And he just goes like this. And him like, give me your coffee. And we're just like this for a second. I'm like, give me the damn cinnamon bottle. You're not putting cinnamon on my coffee. I'm doing it. And we just stood like this, locked eyes. And he's like, I'm not giving this up. Like that was the conversation we had in like 1 second. Yeah. Like we didn't say any words, but we knew what each other was saying. And
Well,
then
what happened?
I eventually just slowly handed it to him. He just gave me like 2 little things. I was so mad. I was about to whip that thing at his face.
That's
I was like,
funny.
I can put cinnamon on my own coffee, bro.
That is funny. I wonder why they took the things away.
I know they did that. I mean, if they asked, if
I guess that was a while
I
ago.
guess I understand why they take it away, but if I ask for it, just let me take it. Just let me use it for a second.
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, you don't have to put cinnamon on my own coffee.
Bro, Cooper needs to like drink some like blood of the, like a bear or some shit, or like a vegetable or some fucking shit. Jesus Christ, this kid is on one right now.
Dude,
Fucked up.
you know what I mean?
No.
Yeah. So
What else do we got?
we got a lot, man. Andrew Huberman posted this cool little thing. I wanted to say it on like pleasure and whatnot. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Pleasure is not a problem. Dopamine is not a problem. Too much pleasure experienced too often without exerted effort to experience or achieve that pleasure is definitely a problem. However, it lowers our baseline levels of dopamine and the potency of all experiences. Work for it. Pretty interesting.
I mean, yeah, we talk about that all the time. Like, there's an equation to happiness, and you have to fight. That's part of the equation.
Yeah, you can't just getting. It's kind of interesting because just getting things without like putting the work in, you appreciate them so much less. Like, if you had to work for something and pay for it, then you would take so much better care of it as opposed to if it was a gift to you.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's such a powerful thing. It's such a cliche anymore, but it's so, like, if you don't do something like that, you're genuinely fucked. Like, I mean, you will literally deteriorate day by day. What a person like that we're doing, like shit that we would do, would deteriorate at like the rate of 5 years. Like, and you're doing that in one day. Like, it's bad. Like, if I go to bed at all and I feel like I didn't do anything today, I genuinely feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah. Even like today for me, I mean, I woke up, I was a little tired from hanging out with my friends last night. And like I woke up, I just like didn't want to do anything, and it was like noon. I was like, holy crap, dude, it's noon. I didn't do anything. Like I got like anxious, you know. But I was like, what do I have to do? Like, why can't I just experience like life without expecting myself to kill myself that day?
If I work real hard, I can give it like 1 or 2 days on the weekend.
Yeah.
Like, definitely not like checking anything at all. Like, I'm definitely like reading over my posts from the week or doing something related to trading, no matter what, every day.
Yeah.
But, or like a podcast. Like, I listened to like 2 trading podcasts today, and I didn't even fucking do shit for trading, really. It didn't seem like, but I listened to like 2 hours podcast in the morning.
Yeah, it's crazy how easy it is to like go back to like the thinking that you previously had. Like, if you go on a really good roll for say for like 6 months where you're very consistent, like you're even disciplined with like your thoughts, you know, and like you're feeling very happy and like you kind of have it figured out. It's just crazy how easy it is to just like fall right back, you know, and then you have to catch yourself. I feel like that's the key, is just to be able to like go back, like not. I think the key is like to not ever go. It's not to go back, but when you go back, to know to like have the appropriate like habits to go back to like the good level of thinking. Or
it's like this, like it goes here, and then this is the first time you go back to square one, but then the second time you go back, you go like here, and then it's like slower and slower, and then over time you basically get to a point where you never drop more than like 1 point, whereas your first drop is like 10. You know?
Well, what I was saying is like when you're here, that you know that being down here is a very likely possibility. So when you go back down here, you know exactly how to get right back up.
Yeah, but I'm saying that
but then
you realize that way quicker
Yeah.
every time you do it.
Right,
So
right.
like there's a point where it's really like dialed in, and you don't
sure.
even let it happen for a day. You know.
Yeah, and you have like the right healthy habits developed where you know you could put yourself back. Dude, but even for me, like sometimes I have to like stop thinking about life and stuff because it never leads anywhere, obviously, because it can't. But I'll just be sitting around and be like, it's just like trippy to me, like just sitting around and being like, what are we doing right now? Like, why am I anxious?
Dude, I know.
Like, what am I anxious about? Like, I'm anxious because like you guys haven't sat down to eat dinner yet. I was like, it's just sitting there and thinking, like, dang, like it's so hard to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dude, the part that freaks me out is like death. Like that shit freaks me out.
I'm just like, what the heck is going on right now? Like, what is reality at all? I'm so confused, you know? I feel like one of these days I'm just going to like turn off like an NPC.
Dude, I know.
And I'm going to wake up. Like, and it was all like a dream when I was 6 years old.
I swear to God.
Like, that's how I feel.
Sometimes I'm with Shimmy and like I'll be at like a store and I'll like, she'll like walk around a corner and we'll go around that corner. She's not there. And I'm like, did I just like, did she get deleted from the simulation? Like, I genuinely think like someone could just be like that, and then Shimmy never existed to anybody, and I'd be like, and I would have to live forever knowing that like I lived with Shimmy, and no one ever will know who she was.
Yeah.
Like that shit is like, what the fuck?
That's
like,
when
that fucks me up.
I start thinking like that. I have to like catch myself and stop a lot of the time because I can't stop thinking about it then. And then I just get like weirded out. You know, just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's almost, that's why you almost need something like monotonous, not even monotonous, but like something that you're working for every day that can like shut your mind off and like, you have to do this regardless, you know?
No, trading literally became like a mechanism, like a defense mechanism. Like whenever I don't want to do something else, I immediately just go to trading, and I'm like, and I use that to like not to avoid other things in my life.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so
crazy.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even like, even when like every time I think something, I'm like, where did this thought come from? Like, what is this thought? Like, how did it enter my mind? You know, like, was that like an alien that just fucked my ear or something? You know, like what just happened?
That's funny.
Yeah, I get stuck thinking like that too much, dude. That's
Yeah,
why
I don't know if I
I
ever thought like an alien fucked me, and
I'm just like, where are my thoughts coming from? Or like, what's happening right now?
I constantly
Trippy.
think like I fucking really hope that someday I get to see like an alien.
Yeah.
Like I always think in my head, I'm like, if there's one thing I want to see before I die, that's like I need to see that. It's like a UFO and an alien.
Yeah. We need the aliens. I think we do before we nuke ourselves.
Yeah, I think that whenever Joe said, Joe Rogan said that if we were gonna nuke ourselves, a UFO would just come in and be like, "Yo, chill the fuck out. That's too much." And then I was like, "Damn, that's probably what would happen." But then I was like, "We dropped 2 nukes on Japan, and they were completely just dumped, like just destroyed 200,000 people in like a day."
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're coming to save us if that happens.
I don't know. I hope so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that it'd be entertaining.
aliens
It'd be more
come, is it
entertaining
all
to see
over?
us blow everything up and see who survives. Who's got the best radiation genes?
I don't want to be in a post.
Natural selection, baby.
Dude, after COVID, like I really don't want to be in an apocalyptic world.
Oh, dude,
at
I know,
all.
right?
Like
Yeah.
you used to fantasize about that. Like not even I guess fantasize a little bit
Pretty
after
much.
watching Walking Dead. Like I don't want that at all.
Yeah.
Like obviously I don't think I would just like die. Like I feel like I'd probably try to live, but like life is so much better when everyone is like on the same page and like we're all, because if the world just ended, like if the power grid just turned off right now, like we wouldn't just collectively be like, all right, we're gonna help each other, you know, like we wouldn't just take food down to our neighbor.
Yeah.
Like we would all become super territorial, you know, like if anyone walked on
We'd be
our property,
fucked because we never had to deal
shoot
with
to
that.
kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we had to deal with that before, like at periods of time, then like it wouldn't be that weird.
Well,
and like, we
humans
probably
probably
wouldn't
have
kill each
had-
other. That's what I mean. But
Yeah.
like we never had to.
No.
Like we never had a point where like
No.
the grid went down. You know. So
No, like even COVID, like we had fun, but looking back at it, life is so much better when you can like go out, you know, and like go to a bar or whatever,
Yeah, dude,
and
that
not be
shit was
afraid of
terrible.
like everything. Like that actually sucks thinking back at it. Like if it was fun because it just mixed things up, because all we ever knew was normal life.
Yeah.
But then it kind of got mixed up a little bit. It was like, oh, cool. But then like it was even cool in the moment, and then we were like reluctant to get out of it. But once we got out of it, it's kind of sucked for like a year. You know what I mean? Because it's still like because we were like okay with it now, but we still have to like wear masks, and now we have to deal with like all the vaccine stuff, you know, and people are being weird, and like some people just can't come back to normalcy, you know. So it kind of sucks.
yeah, that is fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that for sure.
Fuck the society existing and we can't do shit. I'd rather society just break down at that point.
Well, I feel like that's
If it was like a guaranteed 100 years of COVID or 100 years of like post-apocalyptic world, nah, I'd still choose COVID. But it depends on what kind of apocalypse it would be.
yeah. Well, I feel like it would be like The Walking Dead. Just not the zombies. Like that's how people would act.
Well, yeah,
like some
no,
people
definitely,
would
yeah,
be
yeah.
like, some people would be like, you know, like kind of like ditzy and be like, let's come back to like, let's keep our morals like how Rick and all them did. Like keep our morals, try to create a new society, and then there would be a lot of people, and these would be the people that would survive. Would be the people that were savages.
Yeah.
You know, like shooting to kill and like no new people. You know, and
Yeah.
what all that. I feel like that's. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's probably why we're so attracted to those kind of shows. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we've had like a lot of periods of time like that in our history. but we never did, like in human history at least.
Yeah, I gotta watch the Ancient Apocalypse show on Netflix because his whole theory is that humans were as advanced as we are right now, and something like some crazy impact happened that completely wiped us out.
It was the pole shift. Mm-hmm. Dude, this is so fucking. Whenever I think of this,
But it came from an asteroid impact.
no,
I think he said it came from an asteroid impact, and then that's what caused the whatever to freeze.
well, there were a lot of things,
Yeah.
but the one that like killed
Serious.
Atlantis supposedly, which Atlantis was like the society that was supposedly as like technologically savvy as we are, but that one was because the poles shift, and like that movie 2012, like obviously that's an exaggeration, but like supposedly that's what happens. Like that's their whole theory is the poles shift in that 2012 movie, and like the wind going around the Earth is moving at 1,000 miles an hour. And if Earth basically stops its entire spin for like a 7 days, and this is where like the 7 days of Christ thing comes into. So it's completely stopped spinning for 7 days. And obviously that momentum of the wind continues moving. So it has just like crazy fucking tornadoes and hurricanes and all the ocean is moving as well. So the ocean is moving. Like imagine you have water, and you stop water, it's going to flow it goes over basically the entire continent, and it just floods everything like with thousands of feet of water because it's like the ocean flushes over the whole fucking land. And supposedly that's what happened in Atlantis because like you can see the one guy that talks about it on Joe Rogan, he just basically like says it looks like water erosion from space. Like it looks like water erosion wiped over this area. And this area has like the 3 rings because supposedly Atlantis was like a center city and then one moat and then a ring with the city on it and then another moat and then another ring. And this is like from space you can see like the 3 rings and then there's like it looks like water erosion came over it. And if the ocean came over you, there'd be nothing left.
Yeah.
There'd be nothing. Especially if 10,000 years passed on top of that.
Yeah.
You know.
For sure. Yeah, same with like the asteroid impacts.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, the asteroid
like-
impacts are fucked.
I think like
I definitely
you
would
know-
rather have an asteroid impact than a fucking polar shift.
yeah.
Polar
Well-
shift, we're all dead.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone's dead.
Well, the interesting part that I never really thought of, I heard someone say on Joe Rogan, is like the route that Homo sapiens took toward and like towards what's it called, like technology, is like combustion engine and all that industrial age stuff.
Yeah.
So to us, we're like, we would just take a crane and we would move those stones to build the pyramids from Egypt. Like that's how we would move a 1,000-pound stone. Yeah. But there's a possibility that like the Egyptians developed a whole different system of technology that had nothing to do with like gas and engine and burning. It was like a whole different system that we don't even know until someone comes, like no one's even figured that out. Like what kind of technology are they using? It could have been something that we just completely flew over our head because all we think about when we think about technology is combustion engines and propulsion systems,
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people say that they use like sound or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's wild. Oh my God. I don't even know.
Could you imagine? Like they just had like groups of people that would be like 10,000 people and they would all hum the exact same frequency and then be able to like manipulate objects or something.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like, I don't know. Is that a real theory?
No,
It sounds
I just
like-
made that up.
I was
I don't
gonna
know how
say,
they
I
would.
don't know.
I don't know how they would use sound, but supposedly people say that they'd like use the forks a lot. Like the sound forks and
Sure.
stuff like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That'd be a crazy little fucking. That's a crazy theory, though. That'd be crazy if that was accurate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I get too tripped out thinking about that stuff.
I love it. That shit is crazy to think about, bro.
Yeah.
I just wish we knew more about Earth. Like I feel like the stuff that we think we know so much, and we genuinely don't know shit about even our past.
No.
We have
Yeah.
no idea what happened to like our old civilizations.
Mm-mm.
Like even the Graham Hancock thing on Netflix. You watch that?
That's what I just said I need to watch.
Dude, like they're showing these like structures that are the one like as big as the fucking pyramids, and they're like, it's crazy. Like there's just crazy. There's like all civilizations of like this different kind of people that we don't even know about, and they lived like 10,000 years ago. Same like they got
yeah.
extinct. Same with like the Younger Dryas theory or whatever it's called. But
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like there's so many different groups of humans that have lived already that we don't know shit about.
Yeah, it's scary to think about. Like, what if we're just like, what if our society right now is just one out of like 10,000 things that have 10,000 societies that have tried and maybe got to the same level of technology that we're at right now and understanding? Because where we're at right now is like, we don't think this is going to go away.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. Like, New York City's not going away. But what if there were like thousands of that already?
Yeah.
You know? And I don't know.
Dude, it's totally possible that what if like in our DNA it didn't matter as much. Like let's say 500,000 years ago, our DNA, it didn't matter as much to like populate the earth. Like it wasn't like such an important thing to have like a fuck ton of kids. Whereas now like the earth is super populated. Obviously every fucking piece of the earth is populated. Whereas back then maybe it was just like pockets of societies where they knew everything. They knew the earth already. They knew everything about it, but they just like stayed, you know, in their individual societies, and they didn't really care to have like a fuck ton. Everyone just had like one kid or whatever. What if they were the ones that like made the UFOs and did all the shit, and then they like, because they could have lived, you know, maybe like 1 million years already in society that's like smart as fuck. And then what if they're the people that made the UFOs or something crazy like that, and they got killed, and then we're finding the remnants of our own past, and like it's not even aliens at all.
It's not even aliens.
You know?
Dude.
And then think about that, because the people who would survive that kind of extinction event are probably people that would like need to populate the earth.
Yeah.
So then like the next generation, which is us, we're like, that's in our DNA, kind of like the like us dying from having not big enough a population that we need to populate the whole earth. And even like Elon's trying to populate Mars, like, you know, we're like at the next stage.
So why do you think that like we need to populate?
Because like what if, because natural selection, so let's say like a shit ton of people died, and let's say 90% of all humans died back whenever they made UFOs like 500,000 years ago or something like that. If they all died, the people that would survive, obviously natural selection, are the people that are going to populate. You know what I mean? Because they need to have the most amount of children, because like maybe 4 will die and you have 10 though, you know, 6 live, and you pass that DNA on. What if that was naturally selected in humans, so that over like 1,000 years passes, and like the people that are living now, they like want to populate more than like a different society wanted to.
Yeah,
you know?
That was like a big importance to them.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, that could be the case for all of our genes. Like the way humans are territorial. Like maybe we had to be like 1,000 years ago. Because if we weren't territorial and you like, you know, let the wrong person in, they might kill your whole family. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, seriously.
Or even like the genes of like Joe Rogan always says, these freaking NFL linebackers and stuff. Like those were Vikings. Those guys were on if those guys were alive 1,000 years ago, they were on they were on a ship ready to invade a small village, like waving their axes in the air, you know, like these huge dudes.
Yep.
You know, same with like UFC fighters, like they're probably like gladiators and probably like, you know, doctors. They're probably these were very important roles in society 1,000 years ago, was to have like a healer, you know, shamans, all that stuff. Like all the things that we innately do, it could all be just stemmed from that. It probably is. You know,
what
right?
if, dude? Sense. Yeah, no, like
I mean that's science.
Oh, that is exactly what happens.
That's journalism.
Yeah. Dude, what if like the society that made UFOs, like they learned how to get out of the solar system like quick, and then the other aliens were like, no, you stay on Earth.
Dude,
you can stay. What if they're like, you stay in your solar system, get the fuck out of mine?
What if this?
And they fucked us, and then they killed like 99% of all humans or something.
Oh God, what if this? So you said that like those past civilizations were the ones that made the UFOs. What if they saw that this place is about to blow? Like this Earth is about to blow, because it blows up every whatever thousands of years. So they got the hell out of here. They found out how to get out of here. We're still finding their remnants, but they're coming back, and they're seeing us, and they're like, look at these dummies, bro. Propulsion systems. We were moving things with our mouth. Like they were
like, dude, 1 million years ago we were on this fucking planet, and we had UFOs, and these bitches have everything, and they can't even figure out how to make a fucking airplane that doesn't blow shit out of its ass.
Yeah. Dude, what if that's
crazy.
And the aliens are actually just stemming from Earth.
Dude, that'd be wild.
And they're just
yeah.
coming back from other planets. They're like, yo, look where we used to live.
Like
what if
our
they're just
old
history lessons?
civilization, our old civilization already repopulated the whole planet, the whole solar system.
Dude,
and
that's a good
we're
one.
the ones that are like left over. That's fun.
That's a good one. They're just coming back like almost like a history lesson too. they're like, dude, the way that we go to like the Mayan ruins.
Yeah.
Like they're coming back to like the Earth.
Look at these good shits
Yo,
they're figuring out
they're
like old civilizations existed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we populated the whole fucking
Oh my god, we need to
universe.
write this down.
That's crazy.
That's a good one.
That is good. That's funny. That'd be a good movie.
What if what
I
if
want to like watch that movie now. I gotta take mushrooms and just take one, do it in my head.
aliens are actually just different versions of us? My
That's
gosh.
fucked.
Yeah, they're just. I mean, they probably weren't like Homo sapiens, so.
The thing that's
Dude, like,
fucked
what
though
if-
to think about is like whoever actually was the first like in our solar system in our whole universe to be the first people to leave. We really all did have to come from that one in some way, shape, or form.
What do you mean?
Because like you know how everyone says like humanoid, like whenever they talk about like aliens, they're like everyone assumes like every alien looks like a human kind of in like a weird way. Like they're like maybe they're small, skinny, whatever.
Big head.
They have fucking bird,
Big
like
head,
you're a
small
bird,
body.
human or some shit.
Sure.
And then like if we all look like that, which is maybe true about aliens.
Okay, I just want to make sure they're not picking up on the TV.
If we all look like that, maybe we did come from like some kind of same exact thing. You know, obviously, like who fucking knows?
Well, maybe
what aliens
they're-
look like. Maybe aliens don't look like that at all.
Maybe the depiction that we all think of what aliens are, like the big head, small body. Maybe that's like maybe that's just 1,000 years of evolution of humans on a different planet because that's the kind of body that they have to survive. You know, like what you would need to survive if you were like an animal on Earth is you need a big body.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be a big animal, like an apex predator almost. That's the best way to live. But maybe on other planets, you know, maybe
Where
it's
there's like not even you eat through like filtering it through your breath.
yeah, like it's a whole different thing. You know, the whole like
Yeah.
ape is not valued at all.
You don't need to fight for food.
No.
You only like need to live and survive. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Pretty crazy.
that is weird to think about.
Yeah, we're just like those UFOs that they find. They're just prototypes of like what we made 5,000 years ago.
Yeah, like those are like our Model A cars, and then now we have Teslas, and then like they can probably just jump through the universe like that. They don't need a fucking UFO.
That's wild. Yeah, imagine they got to such an advanced point where they're like, this place is about to blow. Like this place is not stable.
Imagine they get to the point too where they're like, damn, this UFO is slow. We need a fucking time warp or some shit. Because that's probably what happened if they did leave the planet. They wouldn't use UFOs. Even UFOs are too slow for space travel.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen one.
But like they supposedly go like the speed of like fucking not light, but fucking so like extremely fast. Obviously.
Dude, what if I forget what I was gonna say.
Dude, like the
It was
UFO
so
went from like
quickly.
50,000 to 1 foot above the ocean in less than a second. So it was going like multiple thousands of miles an hour. If you did that in space, you still would need to go many years to get to like the next like big solar system probably because it's like multiple light years away.
Do you think that there are other planets out there that are the same or a similar system to ours in terms of like primates and
I think in our universe, yes. But I think if you went through a black hole, it's totally possible that like the physics are completely different. And like the physics of like the creation of an atom is like way different. Because in the thing that's like this very similar in our universe is that everything exists on a huge scale and a small scale. Like if you look at the whole like Milky Way galaxy, right? So you have like a black hole in the center, and then you have all these millions and millions and millions. I think it's 500 billion stars that are surrounding that, and then obviously you have the stars. They have planets, but if you look at that, it looks like an atom because it's like a nucleus with its electrons going around, and it's like like the galaxy looks like an atom. Go to our solar system, you know, same thing. We revolve around our sun. Our sun is the nucleus, and our planets are like the protons and electrons. And then obviously we have tiny little atoms, you know. So like, what if you go through a black hole? Because whenever you go through black holes, they literally rip every tiny piece of an atom into one string.
Yeah.
Right. They take the whole nucleus of an atom and they'll take all the whatever and just rip them apart, and one by one they spit them out into a new universe. What if in that process it changes the way that the atoms form in the next universe? You know what I mean? And they form in a different structure.
Yeah.
That's like completely different than like just what we think it is.
That would completely just, our whole physics system would just completely be
like you might go into that universe and there is no planets, there's no stars or anything.
Yeah.
It's just like you go in and it's like you're already in some kind of structure. Like the second you get there, there is no other planet. You know, it's like just this room.
Yeah, or just
weird.
your mind, just your consciousness. You know,
well, that's the whole thing. Is like, how do you even? That's why people say you can't go through a black hole because you'd be ripped apart.
Yeah. I don't know anything about black holes.
Yeah, they're crazy to think about.
Yeah.
But there's levels of black holes too. Like you can actually make a black hole supposedly like anywhere in space. Like it could be a black hole like right here in this room, and we wouldn't even know it. But the big ones obviously are huge. It's like that game where like you try to eat things and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So like the black holes are attracted to each other, so they just combine, and then eventually it becomes.
Well, going off of that reminds me of something that Mom and I are talking about. What if like, so when people take psychedelic drugs, they see like these shapes and they see like vibrations and stuff. Like, what if like us right now being humans, like our bodies are still our DNA is designed in a way that it can't show us everything because it'd be too much for our minds to handle, and we wouldn't be able to focus on like survival.
Yeah.
Like our minds, like we're pretty simple beings. Like we eat, we have sex, and we, have some kind of like task we want to solve, and we sleep and we drink water. Like that's pretty much it, and that's pretty much like what we need to live. Like, so if you could see like what actual reality is 24/7, like what if it's like there's millions of things going on right in front of my face right now, but my mind won't let me see it because if I saw that, like I wouldn't be able to, my body would die. Like it's the host of it would die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's pretty interesting to think about. And then these psychedelics people take, like they show you what like you can't see,
I mean,
could be a portal.
It's known that our brain literally does trick us to make sure. Like, there's those mind where you look at something and you're like, oh, it looks like that person's closer, or like the lines, and there's like 3 lines, and you're like, which line's shorter? And you're like, that one, and then you're like, no, it's actually that one, and then you're like, why? And it's because your brain does condense your reality and it makes it simple. That's why we love like terms and words for shit. Like whenever you see a tree, your brain doesn't have to be like, oh my God, that's a tree. And then you have to analyze that's one specific tree to figure out what that one tree is. And then you go to the next tree. You just know it's a fucking tree. Right. That's it. So it's like
wood.
We just generalize everything. So that's also kind of a human way to think about it though. Like what if it's not like that at all? What if it's really just, even like whenever
that's the scary part. Everything we think is like a human way of thinking.
And it's wrong.
It's
totally wrong. Yeah. That's why whenever we think about what people say the multiverse, like maybe that exists. But I can tell you one thing. It is not like the movies where you go to another universe and you have like a dick for fingers.
Dude, but you saying that, you're equally as wrong as they are.
True. You have to do the same thing like with God.
With yourself. Yeah.
Like I don't believe in God, but I
being an atheist is the same as being Catholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're hardcore to either one.
Yeah.
You should just say, I don't know. That's why people ask me, like, what religion are you? But I just say I'm Cooper anymore. My friends always laugh because they know that's what I'm going to say. If someone asks me, Democrat, Republican, like, shut up. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
You don't even know what you're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, they're literally just trying to find like a quick way to bond.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, are we on the same team or not?
Yeah.
It's like the tribal thinking, like we were talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy though, because whenever you don't care about that, like in college, I never gave a fuck about that. And people
about
come
what?
up like just like the frat culture or like drinking or like anything. Like I would just do what the fuck I want, Like people try
you
to peer
didn't
pressure
care
me.
about that stuff.
No, like people peer pressure me into like trying to drink or something. I'd be like, nah, and then they'd just be like, no, do it. And I'd literally just stare them in the fucking face and be like, no. And then they would do it for however long they did it, and I just keep saying no. And then everyone would be like, wow, that's so weird. He didn't give in to peer pressure. And I'm like, dude, you guys need to get outside because this is scary. You're fucking weird.
Yeah.
But
dude, it's weird because it's like, yeah, I guess for me, like, I just want, it's just nice for me to be able to just hang out with people and just like relax.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I wish I could go back to Philly like every weekend.
I bet.
Because it's so fun to just like have people to
Have friends and just talk
hang
shit.
out with.
Yeah, that's the only goal is talk shit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking
It's
more of
important.
like the random people. Like whenever you're around random people and they see that you don't conform immediately, they they just are like creeped out. They like don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, college kids are weird, dude.
They really are.
We're about hour and 10, 15.
I like that discussion. That was my favorite one for sure.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a good one.
That planet talk is crazy.
We gotta write that
shit's
down.
nuts. We gotta make some reels.
Mm-hmm.
That shit was funny.
Yeah.
Dude, the fucking leaving the planet and that's us. That shit blew my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude.
Now I'm like,
Hit me,
I
dude.
can't do homework.
Dude, yeah, fuck that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're gonna try to chat GPT that shit. You have
I don't
to
do
now.
that. I can't do that. I don't do that.
Yeah, true. I use ChatGPT to like
What are they
DM
gonna do with that?
to DM some guy like a job thing.
Oh, is that what you use for that? Dick.
It was awesome.
I
wrote
read
my-
to my mom's like, you're so intricate.
I know, right? It's
Like,
fucking
shut the
awesome,
hell up.
dude. I've been doing that to so many people too. Like I'll send them some shit and they're like, "Damn, that's really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, ChatGPT wrote that shit, bitch."
Yeah, I used it to ask a girl out.
Did
She
you?
Still said no.
No, you honestly should.
No,
like
I bet it could be
when it comes to
something
like
good.
language and words, this thing's fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
like it's real good at that shit.
Yeah, I wonder if at some point, like, if you know the type of man that this girl likes, if you could say, like, tell me how to ask this girl out in this type of way.
Yeah.
Like, tell me how to ask this girl out in, like, you know, a frat boy skateboard way.
You definitely could.
and they would form a whole
Yeah.
different sentence and, like, tell me to ask this girl out that's a doctor, you know?
No, genuinely, you could do that. I bet.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean,
Like this thing is awesome.
yeah, ChatGPT's
It's not that good for like looking things up though. I found like
not all the right information.
unless it's like super basic,
Mm-hmm.
like dumb basic. Like I'm just too lazy to look through the first Google answer, you know. But everything else is like too complicated.
All right.
Like I was using like a Google spreadsheet today, and I asked it how to like write formulas, and it like did it real quick, and I was like, "That's dope."
Mm-hmm.
That was actually helpful. But
It kind of reminds me of this post that this guy named Chris Williamson. This is interesting.
dude, we gotta go.
Let's see
To
what you think.
I think that dating apps are
You
a
hear it?
perfect example of something which is both convenient and enjoyable, but not good for you. They have certainly opened up more opportunities for people to meet potential partners. And yet, we are in a world with the highest rates of sexlessness amongst young people. 1 in 3 men between the ages of 18 and 30 hasn't had sex in the last year. Only half of men between the ages of 18 and 30 are looking for a relationship. Well, if the promises of easy access online dating were so true, how is it that we've ended up with a world where people are having less sex than ever? That sexlessness has also increased for women too. There are more childless women at 30 than there are women with children. There's a study from Morgan Stanley that says by 2040, 45% of 25 to 45-year-old women will be single and childless. If online dating was creating this perfect facilitation for relationships to start, how are we ending up with all of these outcomes?
Think of dating apps really want
Pretty interesting.
I mean, yeah,
probably
makes-
making people antisocial.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Because
complicated.
interacting
honestly.
on like dating apps like Tinder is a whole different way than you would interact with someone in person.
Yeah, it's not you.
It's so dumb.
Yeah,
It's so
like
dumb.
it's like a character.
It's literally a character. It's like, do you like my avatar? You know, and
No,
then you meet them in
literally.
person, and it's a whole different thing. You know, I mean, might give some insight, but still,
Yeah,
it's weird.
I mean that's totally the only reason.
Yeah.
It's like super simple.
Yeah.
like that's literally the only reason. You can be a character on your phone. It's it's a video game.
Yeah,
And
some
that's
people
it.
are better at the video game than they are in real life too.
Oh, for sure.
You know,
I'd say it's like a
lot of
common-
people-
That's like common.
well,
now.
some people are, you know, better in person than they are at the video game, but they don't, or at the end they are at being the avatar, but being the avatar, like, you don't get the chance to see them in person because you're not good at the avatar, you know.
Yeah, true.
But in person, like the reality is, you probably be very compatible, you know.
Yeah, it's weird that people just don't know how to fucking talk at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny when you see someone talking and they're all flustered and you're like, fucking loser. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, it's conversation is a skill for sure.
It is for
Yeah.
sure.
Just like, I kind of learned, like, think before you talk, but don't think while you're talking. You know,
True.
kind of think of like a basis, but then don't think while you're
Where'd
talking.
you steal that from?
I swear to God, I came up with that on my own because when we were in Colorado, dude, like, I was trying to explain to Doug, our uncle about this diet, and I started thinking while like sometimes I'll be talking,
funny.
and while I'm talking, I'll start thinking of like other things not related to the topic.
Dude, that's
like I'll
so
be like
funny.
talking to Colby right now, and my mind will be thinking of like me riding dirt bikes. And I'll be talking to Colby, and it'll be like, so the conversation I'm having with them, like, it gets all flustered because I'm like not actually thinking about the conversation. I'm thinking about something completely different. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in a conversation right now.
Dude,
like,
it's
focus
just so
up.
funny.
Dude, I did that in public speaking too. I had a speech the other day for the first time. Like, the key to these speeches, like I said, is just like being present and like completely just focusing on the next word. And I did really good in the first two speeches, and then I had one the other day. And as I was giving the speech, I'd be talking on my note cards, and then I would just be like start